Starting point. 1 year after the controversial not guilty verdict freeing George Zimmerman after the shooting death of unarmed teenager Trayvon Martin in Florida, Ferguson, Missouri exploded after the death of unarmed teenager Michael Brown. Brown was shot 6 times, even after allegedly putting his hands up. Many Americans hit the streets to protest the latest controversial death, just as they did last summer. Sadly, the protests this time echo the concerns not just for one life, but for a startling trend. In New York City, Eric Gardner was asphyxiated during a heavy-handed interaction with police. Does that sound familiar to you, Pittsburgh? In California, a highway patrol man was caught punching a disoriented older black woman in the face during a pedestrian encounter. Does that sound familiar to you, Pittsburgh? In addition to Ferguson, there's also the questionable shooting death of Ezell Ford at the hands of the LAPD. In Colorado in 2012, a killer with semi-automatic weapons makes it out of a movie theater alive after shooting dozens in cold blood. In Ohio this year, a man dies in the toy section of Walmart with a toy gun in his hand, shot in cold blood by an officer that has a questionable past concerning justifiable homicide while on the police force. Cliven Bundy could stand off the United States government with armed neighbors at his side. Marissa Alexander, a survivor of domestic violence, is in jail right now for arming herself against a man that previously beat her to the point of hospitalization. Many people are asking questions like, what's the state of race relations in America, especially when police shootings of blacks seems to be going in the wrong direction, despite crime statistics generally heading in the right direction? Some are asking, do we have the same level of concern for violence in urban America than we do for violence between whites and blacks in high-profile cases? Is this about our gun culture, our media culture, our political times, or the tough economic times we're in? Perhaps the questions we should be asking include, do we really love America as much as we say we do if these events continue? How come innocent until proven guilty applies to some citizens, while guilty until proven innocent, repeatedly, is the norm for other citizens? When some loudly proclaim citizens' rights against the government, are they also actively defending the civil rights of black youth in Homewood and in the Hill District when encountering the police? How can we collectively protest for change if we will not proactively adjust our socioeconomic and political behavior to affect change? And why do we think that we can devalue each other as American citizens and then expect Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, and ISIS to respect us as the military and moral leader of the world? Tear gas hit the streets of Ferguson over recent days, but it's a cloud of confusion that we're all in over recent years. Until we come to grips with the current racial disparities in perception, interaction, employment, and other societal matters, we'll meet on the streets in the near future once again for another round of protests over the same resolvable issues. That's our starting point. Time to make your point. The phone lines are open at